My first guest is a Canadian country music singer with 18 top 10 hits, 4 Juno nominations, and he's a Canadian Country Music Award winner. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, pretty much,
okay.
yeah. I don't know, it's weird. It's when people talk in those terms, yes.
Hailing from Niagara, we are pleased to welcome Tim Hicks to The Source. Welcome back to your TV, Tim.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It seems like you are either on the road touring or in Nashville working on some new music. Are you home in Niagara for a while?
Yeah, I've been, I always am in between, because the thing about what we do is typically the gigs happen on weekends. So all summer long, weekends are tough because I'm away, but through the week, always home. Like for instance, today I dropped my son and his friends off at their chess tournament, and this afternoon my daughter has a basketball game, so pretty normal dad stuff.
I'm a big fan of artists who perform for the military, and you were in Latvia. You were performing for the Canadian Armed Forces. What was that like? Unbelievable.
Soldiers. For one thing, I'm a huge supporter of our military. My grandfather was a Korean War vet, and so that's something that I take very seriously. And anytime the military calls, I just say yes, whatever it is, let's go. And I've done that a few times. I've been to Kuwait and to Oman and now to Latvia as part of Operation Reassurance, which is so cool. They are the rowdiest bunch. It was pouring rain for our show. Any other show under those circumstances would have been canceled. They were like, we're doing it. You're fine. Awesome. You're fine. Let's go. And it was amazing. It was a night to remember, that's for sure. And we got to hang with them. So the day before, they sort of took us around the base and we did a few training exercises with them, and they sort of showed us what they do there.
What do they do there?
Well, the gist of it is that they train a lot, and that they're there to kind of posture against Russia, really, to make sure that they aren't rolling tanks across any more borders. So they take that very seriously, and the Latvian people are wonderful, and they're so pleased that NATO is there. And so what I learned on that trip was that each NATO country is in charge of a base somewhere along that line of defense, and Latvia is Canada's responsibility, and they've developed a really unique and special relationship with the Latvian people and the Latvian government, and I'm just so proud of them. They are world class, and I'm really pleased I get to do those kinds of things.
Let's talk about your newest single.
Sure.
Quits.
Yeah, Quits, yeah.
And the best part, your wife is involved in it. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it only made sense. Like, this was a song, it was just, so I co-wrote this down in Nashville with Derek Rattan, who's another Canadian, and this fellow we co-write with named Monty Criswell. And Monty's written all kinds of songs you've heard on the radio. And Derek has too. So, we always start with the title. When we write in Nashville, it's like, what titles do you have? And everyone keeps a list on their phones or in their lyric books. And Monty had the title that day. And it was so timely because, he just sort of out with it. He said, I got a title for you. I said, what? He goes, it's called Quits. And anytime someone pitches a one-word title, I'm always intrigued because it's like, whoa, tell me more. And I have a history with one-word titles, loud, slow, now Quits. And he said, yeah, it's everything you call your relationship when you're going through the ups and downs of a long-term thing. Like, the arguments and the good things and the bad things. And he says, we called it crazy, we called it long shot, we called it everything but quits.
What did your wife think about Quits?
Well, so this is the thing. So, people often ask me, like, what does she hear every song you write? And there was a time when, yes, I was playing her everything, but, with 2 kids and 2 careers and life and stuff, I play her the ones I feel are special. So it had been a particularly tough day, and I sent her that night the work tape. And what that means is once you write your song, everyone puts their iPhones or laptops on the coffee table and you just record, like a tape recording of you singing and playing the song. And so I had like a bad recording of me and Rattan singing this song, and I sent it to her, and right away I could just, I got the teary faced emojis, So when you get that after 15 years of marriage, you got a winner.
She must have approved.
Yeah, right away.
Because she was in the music videos, is that right?
Yeah, so then it only made sense because why it hit so close to home was because it was our 15th wedding anniversary last year. We've been together a long, long time, like 20 years. We've known each other since we were kids. And so, anybody that's been in a relationship that long understands, it's not all roses and bowls of cherries. So, and I liked what the song said, and so my team came to me and said, we got this crazy idea. Like, we know Amanda's not an actor, but do you think she'd want to be in the video? So right away it was like, oh my God, what am I gonna wear? And how do I even act? I said, you don't have...
Did she get through it?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
perfect.
And I said, you don't have to act, but it was so funny because, in the one scene, I say, it's a music video, she had to come out and like hold my hand or something, and she could not remember how to hold anyone's hand. It was like the most awkward, like, she's like doing this, and everyone's like, cut, cut, cut. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know how to act. I said, just hold my hand. That's all you got to do. But it's so true that when you're not used to cameras and people and the pressure of that moment, that sometimes things that should be easy, like getting out of a vehicle, all of a sudden you overthink it, right? So we had a lot of fun. We laughed a lot that day. And I'm so pleased we have that. So now our kids have that forever. Or hopefully our grandkids have that forever. And the song's doing real well at radio right now, so we're pretty proud of it.
Very quickly, we only have about a minute left. You miss Tom Petty. I miss Tom Petty.
Yeah.
He's been gone for almost 10 years now. And I just got back from Florida, and that's Tom Petty Central down
Florida.
there.
Yep.
What was the inspiration behind that?
Tom Petty was the inspiration. I had a mug, actually, that said that very thing. I miss Tom Petty. And I was writing on Zoom with Clayton Bellamy and Dan Davidson, who are both out in Alberta. And we had no idea that day, because we're buddies and we don't do our homework when we write. And so I held up this mug and I was like, I just looked into my webcam and went, is this a title? And Clayton nearly fell out of his seat because he's a huge Tom Petty fan, and we wrote it that afternoon. And people seem to dig that one too, which is, it's kind of fun.
Last fall, you were at the Jackson Triggs Amphitheater, where I think Jim Cuddy and Greg Keeler were inducted.
Massey Hall. Massey Hall.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tell me about that induction.
Yeah, so I got to sing Till I Am Myself Again with Neil Towns at Massey Hall in front of, a star-studded audience, which included the Blue Rodeo guys. They were being inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and it was an incredible story. I was in Ottawa the day before. I got a phone call from my manager that basically said, like, all right, someone got sick. Can you be on a plane tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.? You got to sing at Massey Hall tomorrow night. I said, what song is it? He said, Till I Am Myself Again. And I went, good, I know it. Let's go.
And the best part, back here in Niagara Falls at the OLG Stage, you must be looking forward to come home again.
Yeah, June 12th, man. June 12th, we're going to be at OLG. I was just there. I popped up to sing Patty Murphy with Alan Doyle when he was in town. So it's a beautiful facility. Tickets are selling real well, so we're really excited about that. And it's always fun to bring the train home, because we don't often get to play too close, so everyone's, mums and wives and grandmas and cousins and aunts and uncles will be out that night, so it'll be a special night.
I'm going to put the number 4 up as we end. I'm going to see 4 acts. I'm going to see Tim Hicks at the OLG. I'm going to see Bill Burr. I saw Billy Joel, and I was there for The Price is Right live. So you're among great company.
Nice.
Thanks, Tim.
Did you come on down? That's what I want to know.
Chance.
No,
not
all
a
right,
chance.
okay.
I was second row too. So, but Tim, looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah,
then.
thank you. Appreciate it.